Animations don't just make a site look cooler and increase their visual aesthetic, but they can also help convey your marketing message. In this video, we're going to be going over scroll-driven animations in Web Studio. So as elements enter and exit the viewport, we want to fade them in and perform other animations. So here we have a heading and a few cards. I want to animate each card in and fade it in, and I also want to animate each letter in at a time. To do this, we're going to break it down into 3 simple steps. We're going to be going over animation group, which is the foundation of all scroll-driven animations in Web Studio. Then we're going to be going over text animations, a very simple way to animate each letter or word. And finally, I'm going to give you some tips about working with multiple animations on the canvas. Let's dive in. Let's start with these 3 cards. I want to animate each one. To do that, we're going to go and add a new component. And down here, we're going to see animation group. Animation group is the foundation of all scroll-driven animations in Web Studio, and it works by animating each of its child contents. So we're going to drag each feature into animation group. Let's head up to animation group and look at the right side. Next to animations, there's a plus button. Let's click this. We have presets along with the new animation option to start from scratch. Let's select fade in. Now let's scroll down and scroll up, and we can see our 3 cards are fading in. But I don't like how quickly that this is happening. I kind of want them to fade into maybe about the middle of the screen. So let's open up fade in to see what's going on under the hood. Here we have end and start. So I'm going to change where it ends. I'm happy with where it starts, but instead of ending down here, I want it to end in the middle. So I'm going to select the box in the middle. Now it starts right as it crosses the viewport, and it's going to go until it reaches the middle of the viewport. And while we're in here, let's just open up a keyframe to see what's actually going on. We can see opacity is set to 0. So it's saying, let's start the animation at 0 and animate to whatever's on the canvas. And by default, everything's opacity 100. So that is animation group. Let's look at animating text. Now, I have this heading right here. If I were to add an animation group and drop the heading in there, and let's select that same fade in animation, we're going to see that the entire heading is going to fade in. And let's make the same change where I want this to end in the middle of the viewport. And let's just change the start too. Let's start it when the entire box here enters the viewport. Now it's going to start and it's going to go until it reaches the middle. But I don't want to animate the entire heading. I want to animate each letter. We're going to add a new component called text animation. Text animation under the hood will split the text by character, space, or some symbols here. So now when we scroll this into view, each letter is fading in. And just for fun, let's go in here and modify the keyframe to add a rotation and just do -2 degrees. Now we can see that there's a slight rotation as they enter. That's it for text animation. Now you might have noticed while we were on the canvas, only the text is animating. Why aren't our cards animating anymore? Well, by default, only the animation group you have selected in the navigator is going to perform its animation. This is a feature that lets us design and build without some of the other animations getting in the way. But it might also be useful to see all the animations perform while you're building. So what we can do is on the animation group, check run on canvas. And I'm going to do that to the other one as well. Now, it doesn't matter what instance we have selected, the animations are going to play. And that's a little tip for managing multiple animations in Web Studio. Now, these animations are the most performant animations you'll find in any website builder. And that's because they're using native browser technology. Without getting into the details of it, I'll put it like this. When you're using these JavaScript libraries that are performing animations, they're not just telling the browser what they want animated, they're also telling it how to animate them. This behavior can cause janky scrolling and make things choppy and lose frames when you're animating and scrolling on the canvas. Web Studio, on the other hand, is only telling the browser what we want animated. The browser handles how to do it. And that is how to add animations on Web Studio. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.